So welcome everyone to the Programming Introduction and Ideal Coder. And today we're going to be going through how to get into programming, pursue a career path the right way, and finally transcend to mastering your mind and why that's so important. Okay, so your host, my name is Mustafa Al-Nuaimi and I'm a software engineer and I am a graduate from RIT in New York. So I've been a software engineer for 6 years now. I've worked 3 internships and different software engineering jobs, and I currently work at full-time. So that's just a little bit of background information about myself. And my goal for you today is to provide you with everything you need so that you can take the right suitable path that's for you to get into programming and become a software engineer. So even if you currently think that, you might be having these false beliefs at the moment saying, I'm not a tech savvy, I don't know if I'm able, I did not start young at like 12 years old, it's way too hard, and I don't think I can see myself fitting in. And guys, all these things are false beliefs that you grew up with, and I myself had those false beliefs about myself when I first started, okay? So you need to be aware of these false beliefs and be able to, focus and not to listen to these noises, because I had these noises myself and I was able to get through it as well. And I'm sure that you can, these things are not true. These things are temporary, and these things can change with time, because I was able to change it with time when I first started. So the strategies and methods that you're about to discover are the exact same strategies that I used from the beginning of my journey, not knowing anything into becoming a software engineer after 5 years. Okay, so these are some just pictures when I was in school. So I went to college. You can see there's like me right there. I was going through the software engineering curriculum at RIT, and I was learning with a lot of different type of students, and every semester I would work with different types of students and technologies and software engineering. So, and I really was thinking during the time to at some point release a programming course to teach how to get into programming. So these are some of the things. These are some of my pictures in college. You can see here at the bottom 4 a.m. 4.0 GPA days in 2015, and that's the thing that you don't want to do, which we will get into later. You don't want to be staying up late, doing your homework and whatnot. That was actually, I was still getting good scores and good grades, but that's the thing you actually don't want to do. And I'll talk a lot more about that in the mindset in the mindset section of this presentation. I've met a lot of cool people. I've learned from the best of the best, and I'm here to bring my knowledge to help you become a software engineer, the next software engineer and ideal coder. So, what we're going to cover in this presentation is getting started, learn how to become a software engineer, a programmer, and career path. So choosing the career path that's suitable for you. And then finally, mindset. Okay, we're going to be going through mindset and transcend into mastering your mindset to be effective and efficient programmer. You want to be the best programmer or software engineer that you can. And with mindset, we do a lot of hacks here in Ideal Coder. Okay, so now let's talk about what sort of students I like to work with. Okay, so the sort of students I like to work with are programmers interested in becoming and developing their skills as programmers. You want to learn how to start on the right track and actually have momentum from the get-go to start learning and then sustaining that action of continuous learning. See, I see this a lot in the software engineering industry where, there's a lot of programmers, self-taught programmers would come in and they would go through like 1 or 2 courses and from there build like a project that they don't complete and then just quit. I've seen a lot of that case happening, and in Ideal Coder, we make sure that that does not happen. You're walking on a path that's been paved, and you're getting the help from me, you're getting the help from the community, and everything is set up in Ideal Coder to have that momentum sustained where you actually work into becoming a programmer week after week, month after month, year after year, and actually pursuing that career path in the right way. Okay, so programming as a career. So first, let's go through the definition of programming. So computer programming is a way of giving computers instructions about what they should do. These instructions are known as code, and computer programmers write code to solve problems or perform a task. Okay. A second definition would be programming is the process of designing and building an executable computer program for accomplishing a specific computing tasks. And then we have a third definition here, the process of preparing an instructional program for a device such as a computer. So this is what a programmer means in as an overview. Okay, we have these three different definitions that define programming in slightly in a different way. Okay, so this is what being a programmer, this is the task of a programmer. So programming. So programmers, for the most part, they mainly focus on writing, editing, and evaluating code based on instructions from software developers, designers, or engineers. So for every project, the software engineers would come in and they would, write, analyze, and evaluate, all these instructions and try to turn it into code later on in the process of engineering. So knowledge and skills. So the ability to know how to give instructions to a program. So this is the knowledge and skill you need for you to be an efficient and an effective programmer, is the ability to know how to give instructions to a program, debugging code, and also you would need to learn algorithms and data structures as your fundamentals of engineering, of software engineering. So engineer versus programmer. Software engineers provide the blueprint for building the application. The software engineers would sit and build out the architecture of the software, of the app, and from there they kind of switch on hats and become the programmer that design, enhance, and maintain applications with code. So that's mainly what is programming and the definition of programming, and what do you need as knowledge and skill in programming, and what would you be doing with these skills. So perks. So let's just quickly talk about the perks of being an engineer, a software engineer, a programmer in the USA, or just internationally, really. So it's a top paid career, especially in the USA. You would be making six figures and above, becoming as a software engineer. Environment, it's rated in the top 5 most comfortable and happy jobs. Again, that's strictly USA. So you're in the top 5. You're in the top 5 niches of industries, technology, software engineer, and it's a comfortable environment to work with. So team, you would be working a lot with teams. So it's an intensive team setting industry. So like as an example, as a personal example, 90% of my coding projects in school were done in team settings. However, it's reviewed and analyzed, by my team. So all the work that all the work that I do, would be shared, and vice versa with my team. And so it's a heavy team setting industry. So deciding your path. So learning path. So path, you must first select a learning path that is appropriate for you. You don't want to be following anything. You want to select the learning path that is right for you. Okay. The type. Determining if you want to be a front-end or back-end programmer from the beginning. You want to sit, and really think about, what learning path you want to take for yourself. Okay. What is appropriate for you? What is within your capabilities? Okay. What interests you? Okay. Whether that's in front-end or back-end, you need to know the path and your type, and then finally the technologies you would like to work with. So the type of tech stack or industry you want to work with, the technologies that interest you, the technology that you want to work with. And, from my experience, as a personal experience, so, I know that when I first got into college, I knew I wanted to head in the app development arena of software. So iOS and, Apple building applications, mobile and web applications for iOS. I knew that from the beginning, and that's the path that I chose, So then what I had to do next is learn. So I spent hours, days, and months learning from many different resources. Okay. Learn. That's after then you jump into the learn process. Okay. After you know yourself and know what you want to get into, what type of software engineers you want to be, then you want to start learning. Okay? Not learning and not start learning things and realize that, hey, I actually, this is the thing that I want, but I'm learning something different, So apply. So I worked on projects that allowed me, that allowed a hands-on experience. I applied my knowledge. Once I learned, and then I started applying my knowledge while working on small projects. So that's kind of the process for you to start into the engineering programming field. So becoming a programmer in 4 months. So, when it comes to, programming and, the timelines it would take for each person, it really differs. For self-taught programmers, it could take from 4 months to 6 months to 9 months to a year to 2 years. It really just depends on, it depends on the type of person, okay? And what they're doing with their time to make sure that they're, it's happening in less time than longer time. And in an ideal coder, the program, we make sure that you get there as fast as you possibly can to becoming a programmer. Whether it doesn't matter if you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced. So becoming a programmer in 4 months. So what would be like the process for becoming a programmer in 4 months? Okay, so month one, you'll be learning your fundamentals. So in those 4 weeks, okay, in those 30 days, you're going to be attacking your fundamentals, which is the algorithms and data structures. Okay, so that's phase 1. And then month 2, month 3, phase 2 and 3, you would be then working on your first large project. Okay, so that's like the beginning phase, the beginning process for becoming a programmer. That's how it would look. And then in month 4, it really gonna depend on who you are as a person. Whether it might take you a little longer, a little less time, but after that, this is where you would build a portfolio. So you would build a portfolio and online presence for you to put in your work on, such as like GitHub. And from there, you start preparing for interview questions and job hunting. So after that, if you were to become a master in 4 to 6 months, from there you can go on to become, freelancer, or even look potentially for a full-time job. It's just really going to depend on you as a person. Okay, so transcend into mastering your mindset. So denominator. So the common denominator between successful students or programmers is their mindset. It's really the key difference between excellent programmers and, okay, good programmers. It's really their mindset and their lifestyles, and how they choose to work, okay, and how they choose to utilize their time. So hacking, there's a way to hack your brain to solve problems quicker and be a more successful learner and overall master yourself and your mind. Okay, so in Ideal Coder, we're going to be going through hacks of how to code faster, how to use your time more productively, and how to improve your effectiveness as a programmer. And then finally, technique through following mind and self-improvement techniques, which I will be going through in my program Ideal Coder, primarily focusing on the 6 pillars. So those 6 pillars are focus, health and sleep, social circle, and then 4, sense of self, 5, visualizations and affirmations, and finally 6, momentum. So those are the 6 pillars, or the key to mastering your mind and becoming a better programmer, an ideal coder. And an ideal coder, we dive deep into these concepts and really understands slide by, module by module, why these things are so important to our life, and how they help us improve as a person and reach our higher self to become a better software engineers. So this is why I have this section in Ideal Coder, is because this section is extremely important and valuable, So yeah, the 6 pillars are key to becoming a better programmer and just generally having an overall better health and lifestyle. So mindset, it's a way of thinking, okay? A way of thinking. It's the way of thinking is the problem, not a coding problem. You know, if you're an intermediate programmer, you know, and you've coded before, you know that it's not, you know, it's the way of thinking, it's the way you're thinking. It's not a coding problem. It's just you're solving a problem, and you need to be able to think the right way towards that problem or solution. So it's your attitude towards the problem, you know, not the problem. So personal, you don't have a learning problem. You have a personal problem manifesting in your learning. You know, everybody can learn, whether fast or slow. Both would be able to get the same results, maybe just in different time. But, you know, if, you know, you don't have a learning problem, you can learn anything. And that's key to understand an ideal coder, is that, you know, you can learn anything. There's nothing that you can't learn. Is that you just have a personal problem manifesting in your learning. You know, it's those beliefs that we went through in the first couple of slides, those false beliefs, those false labels that you have on yourself, you know, that is limiting you from learning and achieving excellence. So superior mindset components. So those are the components that I have in Ideal Coder, which we go through and master one by one, you know. So links, so what links and connects to all areas of your life, how everything connects in your life. Elimination and focus, elimination and focus, such as, you know, your iPhone screen time, turning that on and making sure the screen time goes down, and how to do that and why that's such an essential thing to focus. And, you know, how focus is the key to, you know, achieving excellence. So, you know, those are the components that we go through one by one in Ideal Coder and really master to make you a better programmer here in Ideal Coder. So upgrading your health, you know, support, transformation, brain gym, and consistent, you know, to keep you with that momentum. So superior mindset components are designed to make you a better programmer, a better, you know, reach your higher self as a person. And so, you know, most importantly, having the momentum as a programmer, you know, and you would not just be quitting. You would not just be quitting after a day or two or a week or a month. You know, if you're really serious about becoming and pursuing a career in software engineering, then Ideal Coder is the program that I made for you to do so. So then we have technology. So quitting, up to 44% of software engineers and developers quit their job after the first 1 to 2 years and either switch jobs or start their own companies. And that is because innovation, guys. So it's not always the goal to work for a tech company, okay? It's more about you cultivating the skills and knowledge to innovate. That's the key here, to innovate through technology to change the world. You know, the point of Ideal Coder is not to make you, you know, it's to make you have the skills and knowledge and path to become a software engineer, but not necessarily to go and work for a tech company. You know, you can always, there's other options, you know, to earn income from software engineering. But the number one thing with engineering and technology is innovation. You know, you want to be an innovator, and that's why you learn these skills to become an innovator. So invest. Put your money where your goal is. By paying for something, you're a lot more serious. You know, by paying for something you're a lot more serious about, and your pride is on the line. You know, so if you pay for something, you know that you will actually have to do it and use it. You know, that's just the thing with, you know, paying for something instead of just getting it for free. Because when you pay for something, you know you paid for it, your pride is on the line. So invest into your learning, invest in your knowledge. I invested thousands and thousands of dollars, you know, in school and out of school learning. So, you know, not everything was free when I, you know, in the process of learning. So, plus we don't like to waste our money, you know. So you will be committed to get your money's worth every time you pay for something to increase your skills. Okay? This is why education is expensive at times. Is because, you know, behind that expense there's huge knowledge to be learned and gained to enhance your skills and further yourself as a software engineer in your career. So let me ask you a question. Are you enjoying the training so far? So we covered programming as a career. What is it? You know, the main tasks and engineering and the perks, and deciding your path, where to start, industries, you know, the front end, back end, or what type of software engineering industry you want to get into, medical, you know, automobile, and there's all sorts of industries they can get into in as a software engineer, and the timeline to becoming a programmer. Okay, and then finally we went over transcending into mastering your mindset and what makes a programmer or a student successful, hacking your way into it, and techniques like dominating the 6 pillars. Okay, so it's mastery. So these are the 3 things that we went through to help you understand what programming is, how to get into programming, and how to excel as a programmer. So, at this point you have 2 options. So option 1, do this on your own. Okay, spend your year testing and learning, spend your year making the same amount of progress, if any, than you made last year that you said you will make. Okay, or option 2 is get it right in the next 30 days by being coached and directed by someone who has successfully done it over and over with 6 years of experience with me. So skip the phase of being lost, like many beginning programmers face. Skip the wasted time. And with that being said, I introduced you Ideal Coder. So what is Ideal Coder and what is included? Ideal Coder is, carefully crafted and architectured to help you become a software engineer from the very beginning of your journey. So getting into programming in the best and fastest way in 2023, choosing and making your career path in Ideal Coder, diving deeper and mastering your mindset. Okay, that's what I go over in my program, Ideal Coder. It is a world-class program that is designed to help you become a programmer from the very beginning and the right way. And so what we're going to cover in Ideal Coder Release 1 is the 3 main sections. So software engineering as a career, deciding your path, superior mindset. So in section 1, we're going to be going over the foundations, what is programming, and becoming a programmer in 6 months. And then section 2, deciding your path, we're going to be going over type of programmers, programming fundamentals, deciding your projects and how programmers learn. So basically, in types of programmers, we're going to be going over the 14 different kinds of programmers. I would introduce them, and you would learn about all the different type of programmers, front end, back end, QA, system, DevOps. You're going to be learning about all these different type of programming positions and which one would suit you. And we're going to be going over deciding your projects, what interests you, and we're going to be playing a rating game. And from the rating game you're going to be able to understand what suits you as a programmer, what you would like to learn. So it's Ideal Coder is a building path for you to become a programmer. And then finally, the superior mindset, the 6 pillars. And so the most important, and elimination and focus, upgrading your health, being supportive, supporting you, and then complete transformation, brain gym, working out your brain, not just your body, and momentum, how to have momentum so you don't quit. So in release 2 of Ideal Coder, we're going to be having 2 more sections, portfolio building and landing the job and making money. So portfolio building, we're going to be going over setting up your portfolio, building a website and a GitHub, and how to market yourself to the industry so you can get a job and get paid. And then in the last section, we're going to be going over landing the job and making money. So how to job hunt, how to look for a job, how to freelance, and accepting and rejecting offers, which offers are more better than the others, and how to negotiate offers. And also module 5 is project management and execution, how to project management and how to execute correctly so that you can earn money. Okay, so then I get to ask, do you need accountability, extra help, or to meet up with a community of people pushing for the same target? If the answer is yes, then here I have Ideal Coder private Facebook community group. There I have hundreds of students waiting for you to ask questions. I myself is there to ask questions and collaborate, and we all have the same goal. We all have the same target of becoming ideal coders, software engineers. So you have the Ideal Coder private Facebook community. What else do you need to be successful? So live weekly coaching calls. There I will, in the private community, in the private Facebook community, I'll be hosting live weekly calls to help coach one-on-one, okay? So you can always also book a live coaching calls with me, one-on-ones. So if that's there if you need it as well. So what else do you need to be successful? So I'm a software engineer working in the industry with 6 years of college education, okay? I am also a self-taught iOS developer. So, you know, you have all the help that you need to become a software engineer in 2023. You know, you should not have any excuses by now. So here's the value that you're going to get with Ideal Coder. So 5 hours of step-by-step training, which valued at $5,000. Guys, college courses are expensive. When I went to college, I had to pay $2,000 to $3,000 for every class, okay? And Ideal Coder is one of these classes. It's very intensive, okay? It's a 3 to 4 month long class that will be very intensive, and that should be the value of it, okay? Private mastermind group, okay? You're going to get the private Facebook community, Ideal Coder, in your pocket, where we're gonna help you to become a software engineer, okay? And I'm gonna be doing the live coaching calls, okay? That's also valuable. You know, a lot of people would do these live calls for as a paid service. A lot of these engineers in the industry do that as a paid service. I'll be giving it to you for free in the live coaching calls in the private community on Facebook. And then I'm a software engineer, guys. You're getting real tips and advice from someone who has worked in the industry and have a college education and a degree in that industry field. So that's the total value, you know, that's the total value that I spent on this education. But for you, you know, now don't worry, I'm not going to charge you that amount today. So to get started, you're going to go ahead and click on this link and join Ideal Coder. Okay, I can't wait for you to join so we can start this journey together. Okay. So will this work for me? You might be asking. You know, I'm new to programming. Yes, this will work for you. If you're new to programming, if you're a beginner, this is the perfect place for you to get started. Okay. I don't think I'm able. You might be thinking, well, yes, you are able. You're just not able now. But we're gonna, throughout the mastering your mindset section module, we're gonna be mastering that so you don't have these false beliefs and false negative beliefs about yourself, and you're gonna be able to progress and become a developer day by day. And I show you how in Ideal Coder. So, you know, you're not the type of person, so want to become an expert programmer overnight. You know, no, you're not gonna become an expert programmer overnight. This process took me 6 years, and you know, ever since I first started, you know, okay? It actually took me, you know, 4 months to call myself a programmer, and then from there to work, and then from there to graduate with a, you know, college education degree. So, aren't you willing to commit for 21 days? No. So you must be committed to you must be willing to commit at least 21 days of your time into Ideal Coder, okay? And I promise you, you know, results. So again, here's what you're going to get, you know, a total value of almost $100,000, which I had to spend on my education and knowledge. So go ahead and click on the link and go ahead and join Ideal Coder if you are serious about taking, you know, a career path in programming in 2023. And yeah, that is it for this mini presentation that I prepared for you. I hope to see you in Ideal Coder, and I can't wait to get started with you and go through these coaching lessons. And you have the Facebook community in your pocket to help other programmers ask questions. And yeah, thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you in Ideal Coder.